Ever wonder why some people always earn respect effortlessly? They're never interrupted. Their time is never wasted. So, what makes them different? And what do they have that you don't? I'm about to tell you something that's going to make you angry. The reason they get respect isn't because they're smarter, richer, or more successful than you. It's because they know one psychological trick that you've never been taught. A trick so simple, yet so powerful, that once you understand it, your entire life will change. Someone cuts in front of you in line, and you say nothing. A friend cancels plans last minute for the third time, and you just smile. Someone takes credit for your idea, and you let it slide. You know what you're really doing. You're training people to walk all over you. But here's the part that's going to shock you. The people who never deal with this, they're not avoiding it by accident. They're using a dark secret about human psychology that Nietzsche discovered 500 years ago. A secret that separates people who command respect from people who beg for approval. What if I told you that being liked is actually making you weak? That every time you try to please everyone, you're giving away your power? That the harder you chase approval, the less people actually respect you? This isn't feel-good advice. This is raw psychology that works every single time. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some people naturally command rooms while others disappear in them. Why some people get listened to while others get ignored. And most importantly, how to become the person who never gets disrespected again. Are you ready to stop being everyone's backup plan and start being their first choice? Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Respect over approval. Number 1. The hidden weakness of being liked. Every single person who's walked all over you, dismissed you, or treated you like you don't matter, they all have one thing in common. They knew you needed their approval more than they needed yours. Think about it. When was the last time someone truly respected a person who was desperate to be liked? Never, because desperation has a smell and everyone can sense it from a mile away. What happens when you make being liked your priority? You become predictable. People know exactly how you'll react. They know you'll smile even when they insult you. They know you'll agree even when they're wrong. They know you'll show up even when they don't respect your time. And once you're predictable, you become disposable. The harder you try to be liked, the less people actually like you. It's backwards, I know, but think about the people you truly respect. Are they the ones constantly seeking your approval, or are they the ones who seem completely fine without it? The truth is, people are drawn to those who don't need them. It's Human Psychology 101. We want what we can't have, and we dismiss what comes too easy. When you chase approval, you're literally making yourself less valuable in everyone's eyes. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." He wasn't talking about being a tyrant. He was talking about the psychology of respect. Fear here doesn't mean terror. It means consequences. When people know there's a cost to crossing you, they treat you differently. Look at the people who command real respect in your life. Your toughest teacher, your strictest boss, that friend who always tells you the truth, even when it hurts. What do they all have in common? They don't need your approval to feel good about themselves. They have boundaries and they enforce them. Meanwhile, the people pleasers, they get walked on, overlooked, and forgotten. Because when you make yourself available to everyone, you become special to no one. The people who benefit from your need to be liked, they don't actually respect you for it. Deep down, they see you as weak. They might use nice words. They might smile to your face, but behind closed doors, they know you're the person they can count on to bend over backwards for scraps of attention. This is the trap that keeps millions of people powerless. They think being nice and agreeable will earn them love and respect. But all it earns them is being taken for granted, because respect isn't given, it's commanded. And you can't command anything when you're on your knees begging for approval. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose power. Number 2. The dark power of respect. Now that you understand why being liked is actually sabotaging your life, let's talk about what really works. Respect. And not the fake respect people give you when they're trying to be polite. I'm talking about the deep, instinctive respect that makes people think twice before they mess with you. Respect is built on one simple principle: consequence. When people know that crossing you will cost them something, they don't cross you. It's that simple. But when people know they can walk all over you without any pushback, guess what happens? They walk all over you. This is where most people get it wrong. They think respect comes from being impressive, successful, or talented. But that's not respect. That's admiration. Respect comes from knowing you won't tolerate disrespect. It comes from boundaries that actually mean something. Let me break this down for you. When someone disrespects you and you do nothing, you're teaching them that disrespecting you is free. You're literally training them to treat you badly. But when someone disrespects you and there's an immediate consequence, they lose access to you. They lose your help. They lose your presence. They learn real quick not to do it again. This is why the nicest people often get treated the worst. They've trained everyone around them that bad behavior has no consequences. They've made themselves safe to disrespect. And once you're safe to disrespect, respect becomes impossible. But what happens when you flip the script? When you make it clear that your time, attention, and energy have value. When you show people that disrespecting you comes with a cost, everything changes. Suddenly, people start watching their words around you. They start thinking before they act. They start treating you like someone who matters. Machiavelli once said, "Men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that he who deceives will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived." People will treat you exactly how you allow them to treat you. No better, no worse. The dark power of respect is that it's self-reinforcing. The more you demand it, the more you get it. The more you get it, the easier it becomes to demand it. It's an upward spiral that transforms how everyone sees you. But here's the key difference between demanding respect and demanding to be liked. When you demand to be liked, you're putting other people in control. They decide whether to give you what you want. But when you demand respect, you're in control. Because respect isn't something they give you. It's something you take by refusing to accept anything less. Think about the most respected people you know. Do they beg for respect? Do they explain why they deserve it? Do they compromise their standards to make others comfortable? Never. They simply refuse to accept disrespect, and that refusal becomes their power. This is what separates the powerful from the powerless. The powerful understand that respect is non-negotiable. The powerless think respect is something you earn by being extra nice and extra giving. But you can't earn respect by giving your power away. You earn respect by keeping it. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My worth isn't debatable. Number 3. The psychology of control. Here's something that's going to blow your mind. Every single interaction you have is about control. Who's in control of the conversation? Who's in control of the relationship? Who's in control of the outcome? And here's the kicker. If you don't know who's in control, it's not you. Approval seekers hand over control without even realizing it. Every time you modify your behavior to get someone's approval, you're giving them control over your actions. Every time you bite your tongue to avoid conflict, you're giving them control over your voice. Every time you say yes when you want to say no, you're giving them control over your choices. But people who don't need approval, they keep control. They speak their mind regardless of how others react. They make decisions based on what they want, not what others expect. They set the terms of every interaction instead of accepting whatever terms others offer. This is why approval addiction is so dangerous. It's not just about feeling good or bad. It's about who gets to decide what happens in your life. And when you need other people's approval to feel okay about yourself, you've basically handed them the remote control to your emotions. Think about it like this. When you desperately need someone to like you, you'll do almost anything to keep them happy. You'll change your opinions, hide parts of yourself, and compromise your values. You become whatever they want you to be. That's not a relationship. That's slavery with extra steps. But when you don't need their approval, when you're perfectly fine with them disliking you, if that's what it takes to stay true to yourself, now you have all the power because they can't use your need against you. This is the secret that confident people understand. They're not confident because nothing bothers them. They're confident because they don't let other people's opinions control their self-worth. They've made themselves psychologically untouchable. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." The moment you stop performing for others' approval, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. What happens when you break free from the approval trap? First, people don't know how to manipulate you anymore. They can't push your buttons because you've disconnected the buttons from your actions. They can't guilt you, shame you, or pressure you because those tactics only work on people who need validation. Second, your decision becomes crystal clear. Instead of asking what will make others happy, you start asking what's best for me. Instead of trying to please everyone, you focus on pleasing the one person whose opinion actually matters, yourself. Third, your relationships improve dramatically. Not all of them. Some people will hate that they can't control you anymore, and they'll disappear from your life. Good. The relationships that survive are the real ones, based on mutual respect instead of your desperation for approval. This is the psychology shift that changes everything. From "I hope they like me" to "I don't care if they like me." From "what do they think" to "what do I think." From "I need their approval" to "they need to earn my respect." Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my worth. Number 4. The addiction to approval. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Your need for approval isn't just a personality trait. It's an addiction. And like any addiction, it's being used against you by people who understand exactly how it works. Here's how approval addiction works. Someone gives you a compliment, likes your post, or tells you you're great. Your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that's released when people use drugs. You feel good, really good. And just like any drug, once that high wears off, you need another hit. But here's where it gets sinister. The people around you figure out this pattern real quick. They learn that a little bit of approval can get you to do almost anything. Need you to work late. A little praise about your work ethic. Need you to lend them money, a compliment about how generous you are. Need you to ignore their bad behavior, some sweet talk about how understanding you are. They're literally using your brain chemistry against you. And the worst part, you're helping them do it by being so desperate for their validation that you take whatever scraps they throw your way. This is why approval addiction is so dangerous. It makes you easy to control. People know exactly which buttons to push to get you to do what they want. They don't have to force you or threaten you. They just have to give you a tiny bit of the validation you're craving. People who don't need approval can't be manipulated. Compliments, acceptance, or emotional pressure won't control them. Validation is cheap to give and expensive to receive. Chasing it makes you dependent on others. Nietzsche said, "Neglect what is done for what ought to be done, and ruin comes faster than preservation." When you focus on what others expect instead of who you are, you lose your power. Approval addicts change themselves for every group, hiding parts of themselves, wearing masks instead of being real. People who don't need approval stay consistent, speak their truth, and express themselves authentically. Ironically, this authenticity earns more respect and genuine admiration than people-pleasing ever could. Breaking approval addiction isn't easy. Your brain will resist, telling you you'll be alone or guilty for not caring. Discipline means choosing your own opinion over everyone else's. You must be willing to be disliked, misunderstood, and criticized. Drop this affirmation. My validation comes from within. Now, practical rules to command respect. Rule 1. Speak less, act more. Don't over-explain or justify yourself. Let your actions speak. Remove yourself from disrespect, enforce boundaries silently, and stick to your decisions. Be strategic like a fox and strong like a lion. Rule 2. Never chase approval. Don't overtext, over-explain, or try to win people over. Indifference is magnetic. People respect those who don't depend on approval. Rule 3. Stay calm under attack. If someone provokes you, stay composed. Emotional reactions give them power. Calmness shows you are psychologically bulletproof. Rule 4. Be unpredictable. Don't be predictably nice or mean. Sometimes generous, sometimes ruthless, sometimes social, sometimes distant. This keeps others off balance and enforces autonomy. Rule 5. Enforce boundaries swiftly. Quick, proportional action teaches respect better than long explanations. Silence is more powerful than repeated warnings. Drop this affirmation. I am unmovable. Rule 6. Scarcity and distance. Constant availability reduces value. Being selective with your time, attention, and help makes you respected. Strategic absence increases your influence and attracts better relationships. When you implement these principles, everything changes. Relationships become more genuine. Confidence grows naturally. Opportunities come to you. Stress decreases. Most importantly, you become psychologically free from approval addiction and free to be authentically yourself. Your worth comes from what you think of yourself, not others. This transformation isn't instant or easy, but on the other side is a version of you who commands respect without demanding it, attracts real relationships, and holds power wisely. The principles: speak less, act more, never chase approval, stay calm, be unpredictable, enforce boundaries, and use scarcity aren't tactics. They're a way of life that commands respect automatically. Nietzsche said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." Start today. Your future self, the one who commands respect and doesn't need anyone's approval, is waiting. Drop this affirmation. Respect is my birthright. Be that person and watch your life transform when you stop giving your power away.